Hey guys, how are you all doing today? Welcome to my channel and welcome back for those who are coming back. So I hope you guys are good. For me, it's kind of annoying because today's kind of annoying because the weather, was nice early today, and then next thing it started raining. Out of nowhere, it was sunny and then it started raining, and I don't like when that happens because if I want to do something, I start to feel like it's gonna get dark early because of the rain. I end up being frustrated because like the weather makes it look gloomy and makes me not want to do whatever I want to do, or I just wanted to lay in bed and stuff. So yeah, now I understand why people don't like gloomy weather. But anyways, I was gonna make this video today, so I'm deciding to do it anyways because I think it's an interesting story to tell you guys. It was something that happened to me last year. Sometime last year, towards the end of last year, and it was when I was going to get my car that this happened. And it's kind of funny now that I think about it, but when the thing first happened, it wasn't really funny. Like even now, like the reality of it is that it's not funny, but like I'm just like relaxed about it now. So what happened was that, I was gonna get a car. So I was looking at Facebook Marketplace. I was looking at websites online and everything to see all the available options, because online you get to see a lot of options before you go for what you want. And so I was looking, and then I saw this car. It was a Jeep. It was a Jeep Compass, and I love Jeeps. Anyone who knows that I've always wanted to get a Jeep, and one of my dream cars in the future is a Jeep. And I was like, oh, well, let's click this ad and see what the car is about. And so I clicked the ad, and I was looking at, the pictures of the car. It looked really pretty and everything. And I was like, okay. And the price was okay too. And so I decided to message the seller, and then I messaged the seller, and then she was like, oh, it's not my car, it's my parents' car, so I'll give you their number so that you can talk to them and ask them, when you can come check it out and everything like that. And so I was like, okay, cool, can I have their number so that I can do that? So I collected the woman's number, like the mother's number, because she said she was going to give me her mom's number. So I called her mom. And guys, when I spoke to the mother, like her voice sounded very southern. Like, I mean, that's not a problem, but like, white southern interior kind of people. So I was like, hey, this kind of sounds weird, but okay. And so I was talking to her, and then she was like, oh yeah, you can come for the car, blah 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 blah. And then I asked her, I asked her if there was anything wrong with the car and everything before I come look at it. And she was like, no, the car is fine and all that. So I then told her about my plan, because like at that moment when I wanted to get a car, I was ready to get the car. However, I didn't have all the money at that very moment, like the day before I went, or like that day that I was going to go. So I told her that, okay, I have like half of the money now, and then when I like few days later, like 2-3 days later, I would come back with the remaining part of the money and then pay it up and then take the car. But then I would also need some kind of proof that I paid the money, the half of the money that I had with me. And she didn't have to do that, because my plan was to actually do that with a dealership, because dealerships do something like that. But she's an individual, so I wasn't sure if she was ready to do it. And so she said, oh, I'm fine with that, that's no problem, like as long as if you like the car, then we can do that. I said okay. So I asked for the address, and I told her to send me the address when she's free, right after the phone call. So she sent me the address, and then I looked up the name of the town, or the city. It was basically kind of like a city. So I looked up the name of the city where she sent me the address to. And then it was like 2 hours drive from me. And I was like, bruh, this is really far. But then I started looking more about the city, because okay, so there was something I forgot to mention, which is very important to the story. When I messaged the daughter who was on Facebook, right? I looked at her page, and I looked at the pages of like other people, like I think it was the mother who I was talking to, like people around her, and even her herself. I saw a Confederate flag on one of those pages. I was like, hey, this is scary, you know. You don't want to see a Confederate flag in a place you're going, you know. And I was like, this is kind of weird, but I'm not going to really let that stop me, because business is business. Like, I know that obviously it's better to prevent being in a situation like that, but I already had that in mind. Like, I already had my mind set on the car and stuff like that. So I was like, let me just, you know, go. Business is business. As long as you're not doing anything to me, like, we're good. And as long as you respect me and all that. But also, that's the irony. It's hard for somebody to respect you if they believe in something like that. So I still went on and, like, you know, spoke to the mother and everything. And so when she sent me the address, I looked up the town online, and I was seeing, like, you know, it was looking like a very kind of like it was a city, but it was kind of secluded. It was away from normal city where you can see all sorts of people and everything like that, you know. So I was kind of skeptical about going there, but I still decided. I even looked at the percentage of black people there and everything, but it was looking not good. So I was like, man, this is risky. So I'm gonna make sure that when I go there, I'm gonna be on the phone with my best friend to make sure that they know that I'm on the phone, you know, FaceTime with this person, so that they don't try to, like, do anything to me, thinking that I'm, like, nobody's aware of where I am or anything like that. So I looked it up. I looked up the town and everything, and then I put in the address in Google Maps. I saw on their street, like, opposite their house, on the address was, like, plains, you know, fields. And I was like, this is so weird. Why did they have plains opposite their house? This it's looking like some plantation kind of looking like some plantation kind of stuff. So I was like, this is not good. But we move, man, we move. So the next day, you know, I got my rental. I already planned my rental the day before, so I rented a car to drive myself there to go check out the car. And so I went to pick up the car. You know, I drove 2 hours, was driving, and the place was just like mountains everywhere. I mean, this place, there's a lot of mountains around in general, but then, like, that place had more and more mountains on the way there. I was like, this is so weird. But I kept going, and then I got there. I got to their house, and of course, what I saw in the Google Maps was there. There was the plains opposite their house, and the road was so weird. Like, it was tarred and everything, of course, but it was just so secluded and all that. So I got to the house, and they had, like, dogs. They had, like, 3 dogs. One of them was kind of like a pit bull, and they kept telling the dog to go back. And I was like, why? Because the dog was kind of seeming nice to me, and so I didn't know, maybe the dog was kind of aggressive, prone to being aggressive. And so, and me, I love dogs a lot. Like, I love dogs a lot. And so I was open to being friendly with the dog and everything. But they kept saying, like, come back to the dog, you know, come back. And I'm like, is this part of their racism or something? Like, why would you not want the dog to meet me? Or maybe they really cared about me. You know, I don't know, man. That was what I was thinking. Then I was like, why are they telling the dog to go back and blah, blah, blah. So when I got there and I was looking, I saw the car parked there, and then I was excited to see it, and I was talking to them, and I was looking at the car. The car looked good, guys. It was really nice. It was clean and all that stuff. And so I was looking at it, and then I was asking to test drive the car, and they wouldn't let me test drive the car. Like, why wouldn't you let me freaking test drive a car that I need to buy? And that's, like, not possible for me to get a car that I didn't drive. And they were like, oh, it worked well and everything like that. And then I was still looking at it, and I was still, like, thinking, like, how will I buy a car that I can't even test drive? And so I also asked them, I was like, is there any mechanic around? Because before I went there, I was actually looking around to see any mechanic where I could call them to come help me check out the car, or take the car. Usually take the car there to get it just looked at. A general check that wouldn't even take long. They just use their computer to make sure that the car is fine. And so I told them that I needed to do that. Do they know any mechanic? Because when I looked online, I didn't really see any. And guys, that's another problem. How can you have this whole city and not have any real mechanic here that can help me do something? All of the other ones were far away from the city, and so that was also kind of skeptical that it was the case. And they were like, the person that helps them fix the car, the guy is not around and all. And I'm like, bruh, I can't test drive. I can't get a car checked by a mechanic. What the hell is going on? Well, I was just there and confused. Then this guy came. He was white, a white guy, and so I thought he was maybe like their relative or somebody, like their brother or something like that. So he started looking at the car, started, looking at the engine and everything. And I was confused. I was thinking that, okay, maybe they actually listened to me and tried to get me some kind of mechanic to check the car. And so I was just standing there. They weren't talking to me anymore. They were just looking at me. I was just standing there. I was talking to my best friend on the phone. I was like, I don't know what's going on. This person is looking at the car and everything. And my best friend was like, why is he checking the car for you? Why are they not letting you look at the car by yourself? And me, I was already scared, so I couldn't really say anything. I was like, I don't know what to say, how to confront these people. And so the guy started looking at the car, looking at everything, and asking questions about the car. I was still confused. And next thing, he enters the car. The lady that I talked to on Facebook enters the car, and then they drive off, basically for a test drive. Why is he test driving the car, and why am I not test driving the car? I came here first, but I was still thinking maybe it's someone related to them. And so he drives the car off, and off they go. They didn't tell me anything. Still, I was still standing there clueless as ever, just being on the phone. And then he went, and then he came back. Now he's talking about, okay, I'm gonna give you this amount of money and then I'll come back for the car, blah 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 blah. He was telling them. And I'm like, ooh, so this guy actually wants to buy the car. It was starting to dawn on me already before he came, but it became so obvious that that's what he was actually doing. And I'm like, what the heck? Why is he trying to buy a car that I came here before him for? Like, even if they already spoke to him and everything, I don't care. Like, I came here first. You have to attend to me first. And it's not like he's even offering you full money, because if he was offering you full money, I would understand that, okay, maybe that's the thing that's attracting you to him, and so that's why you're attending to him before me. But he's not even giving you full money, and it looks like I was actually giving him more money, giving them, more money than he was, because I think I heard how much he was going to give them. And I was so upset. But it was so obvious that, first of all, they decided to ignore me for this guy because he was a white guy who came for the car, because they didn't seem like they knew him. It looked like he was coming there for the first time too. So what the heck was that? And so I was so mad, guys. And I asked them, I was like, is he buying the car? And then they were like, yeah, we're going to have to sell the car to him. I was like, but I came here first. And they went quiet again. They didn't say anything. They were like, oh, we can't sell the car to you, blah 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 blah, because we really need to sell it. I'm like, but he's not giving you all the money either, so we're in the same position. And they didn't say anything again. The woman was like, oh, I'm going to see if I can talk to my husband, because he's the one that decides if we're going to sell the car or who we're going to sell the car to. I was like, okay. She went in, talked to the so-called husband, came out telling me, oh, we can't sell the car to you, this, that. And guys, I also noticed that when I was there and I was talking to them, like, even though I was kind of nervous and everything, I still tried to act normal and, smile and act like I was not scared of my environment, because the place just looked so secluded. Like, if anything happened to me, God forbid, and I was not on the phone with someone, they could have done anything to me, and that would have been dangerous. Nobody would probably know until like later, but thank God nothing happened. So I was kind of scared. I still tried to talk to them like normal, but they had no emotion. Like, they were not smiling, nothing. It was all so fake, the way they were looking at me and talking to me. And they stood far from me. Like, what the heck? It was so weird. Only when they wanted to show me the car and everything that they came close to me. And so, but when the guy came, they were smiling with him, talking to him like normal. So I felt so weird and on my own. And so I literally just stood there. And when I asked them that if they were selling the car to him, and they confirmed, I literally went in the car, the rental that I came with, and I zoomed off, because I was so upset. I was so mad, like so upset, that when I got home, Facebook does not have like customer care or whatever like that, so I couldn't call anybody to like report the situation to, because that's discrimination, and Facebook should not allow something like that next time, like allow people like that to post ad like that. Like, I knew they couldn't necessarily do anything, but that's how upset I was. I was like, what the heck is going on? So I try to do, when you buy something from a seller, you do a review thing where you can say, or even if you don't buy, you can review a person. So I give them like 0 stars, and I was like something harassment, like, because you had to select why you give them the stars. And so there was nothing like discrimination there, so I was just like harassment and blah blah blah, thinking that maybe Facebook would be able to do anything about it, but they didn't do anything about it. I was so angry. I felt like telling everybody what happened to me, because I felt so like, I felt like these people treated me like I was nothing, you know. I felt belittled, basically. I felt belittled, and I was so angry. But you know, that lasted for a while, and during that period that this whole feeling lasted, like I was so angry at white people. Like everywhere I saw white people, I was always so angry at them. I was like, don't freaking talk to me, don't look at me, don't smile at me, like I ain't doing none of that with you. I was so mad, and it made me start thinking, like, what about people who have lived here all their life and who have experienced some form of racism, you know, towards them every single phase of their life? And they're angry. How am I supposed to judge them? You know, I got to understand how that would feel, because I experienced this just once and it made me so upset. So I can't imagine if I went to a school where, you know, I was treated differently because of the color of my skin. It would have been so upsetting to have to live with that, and even traumatizing as well. So it's very, very important for people to understand why other people feel the way they do. But yeah, that was an experience, and I just thought about talking about it because I was like, man, that's so weird. But yes, guys, I've come to the end of this video for today, and it's not up to 20 minutes, thankfully. So hopefully I can edit it and see if it's gonna get shorter. But that's it, and I'll try to make another video real soon, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog. I hope you have a good one. Bye.